Good morning and welcome to this morning's reflection. Do you expect your religion or your faith or what you believe in to transform you into someone who is almost perfect? Sometimes we can fall into this trap of aspiring to perfection. We don't tend to imagine our faith transforming us into ordinary people, living ordinary lives. That's not what we hope for. The sense that our spirituality should lead us to becoming better and better is both a strength and a weakness. We have to be careful not to fly too high. We have to be careful not to fly too high in our moral and intellectual ambitions. Do you remember the story of Icarus, the boy who made wings out of wax and who, against his father's advice, flew so high that he neared the sun and the sun melted the wings? Remember that story. And so the spiritual realm can do the same for us. It can lift us out of the doldrums of our daily struggles, but can destroy us by taking us too far away from the reality of the world in which we live. We are almost always lofty in our ambitions and in our desire for a particular way of living. We try to break loose from the ordinary into this wonderful world of fantasies of what life might be like, what a perfect life might look like. We are drawn like moths to a flame if anyone can offer us a means to this almost perfect life, the ideal life. People who are all fired up about spirituality need to resolve the tension between ordinary life and their spiritual ambitions. Sometimes we try to escape the humdrum of life by soaring into spiritual experiences, often having ideas that are inspiring and beautiful, but simply not realistic. We have a tendency then to surrender our practical intelligence to idealistic visions. People who suggest that it is possible to aspire to a spiritual experience that creates this perfect world, people like this are often very attractive to others. But in their zeal, there's always a hint of a little craziness. It is rare for people like this to be self-critical, to feel inspired and rejuvenated, yet still remain questioning. When we do this, when we can hold inspiring and rejuvenating ideas but still question them, this tends to be more trustworthy. There is no need for a loss of enthusiasm as we allow voices of caution into the mix. When we can hold the tensions of complexity, then we remain human. Many people can fall prey to ideas that are simply too simplistic and untested. If our tendency towards inflation is so prevalent, what can be done about it? The most effective tool is to use simple intelligence. We need to be critical of new ideas without becoming cynical or dispirited. We need friends who will tell us exactly what they think. And we could watch for the signs of intolerance, superiority, and emotional instability. The voice of caution is often so quiet it goes unnoticed. And so, when you hear the voice of caution, amplify it. Tell someone about that voice and act in response to that voice. Small sensations of inhibition are always worth noticing. And we must learn to distinguish them from fear, but give them careful consideration. I suppose the ultimate goal is to lead an examined life. On the other hand, the draw to fly high can be valuable. It brings fresh vision, new ways of being, the energy to move into a different future. We have to be able to contain rich old ideas and fresh new ideas in the same pot. Jesus had a fire in him, just as Moses did. But Jesus was also realistic and thoughtful. He moved in a new direction without entirely casting aside the old. We must remember that we walk in this world in its ordinary drabness, but we bring hope for a new vision rooted in the reality of life. May you be blessed today. Amen.